The NFL season starts. The goalposts stay stable. How can that be possible? The SBA goalposts are always moving. It's about as confusing to me as offering some scarves to Nancy Pelosi for that hairstyle, but rejecting it because she wants to look more like Mitch McConnell. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evening's LALATE, and JAVITALATE returns to the lineup as the wonders of football returns to the NFL, where goalposts are staying stable, but that's not the case at SBA. JAVITALATE has always been the core of our wonderful hearts that gives us updates on where your EIDL loans could be and how you should be getting EIDL loans right away if you need it, especially if you're having problems with tenants. Tonight, we explain how EIDL loan can help you achieve results that stimulus checks may not be giving you today. So let's get to the incredible detail as JAVITALATE really, brings together all the scars and all the details of what you need to understand. JAVITALATE always talked about all the moving goalposts. We call it the Javita XLL, and how SBA has changed things over time. But one of the things they changed for the benefit for you, especially in the case of stimulus, was the ability to go get an EIDL loan if you can't make mortgage or make payments on a property that is an income generating property. The most common example is if you are an Airbnb owner or renter. Basically, for example, let's say you have a house or an apartment and you run an Airbnb business on the side in which you have a W-2 2019 in which you declare, hey, I made $8,000 last year renting out a room in my apartment for Airbnb purposes. You should be getting an SBA EIDL loan. Also, if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, you should also be getting an EIDL loan. These are classifications that people just don't realize they don't qualify for. Now, a lot of people say, I just want free money. I just want grant money. Well, the universe of grant money is dissipating very quickly, and loans are often possible and good for you for certain reasons. First, the EIDL loan requires no repayments in the first year. So unlike the moving goalposts of JAVITALATE, that's one that stays relatively stable. You don't have to repay an EIDL loan anytime in the first year. So essentially, you could get out of the pandemic without having to pay a penny back of the EIDL loan during that period. That's incredibly great news. The second thing is that generally the EIDL loans mirror a certain amount of money that you need, and that money could tide you over till the pandemic improves. Types of people that don't often think that they can get EIDL loans are truck drivers, Uber and Lyft drivers, Airbnb people, Postmate drivers, Grubhub drivers. A lot of those people never think of getting a loan because you were just waiting for a stimulus check or waiting for unemployment benefits, and that no one had ever told you about EIDL loans. Well, the great news is it's still open. And the other great news is that the routing times are very fast, literally 24 hours to get approved, and sometimes less than 5 days to actually receive thousands and thousands of dollars. Have I woken you up yet? Take off all the scarves. You might be able to hear better. Let me give to you incredible details. The EIDL loan is based upon your 2019 earnings, and ultimately, if you don't work, or you don't do anything, or you have no activity in your life, this is not the situation for you. But the vast majority of my viewers do have something that happens in their life. And what's important to understand is it only has to be the following scenario. It only has to be that you acted as an independent contractor or sole proprietor, as a 1099, and declared taxes on it in 2019 or 2018. An example that I had early on when I launched this channel were people that were, for example, a W-2 worker at Macy's selling clothes, but on the side was doing makeup for people in their homes or for their weddings and was declaring taxes on it. It wasn't, $200,000, but it was at least $9,000 or $10,000 per year. They were declaring taxes on it, and there's no minimum. I'm just using the example of $9,000 or $10,000. Well, they went and got EIDL loans because you can qualify. Yes, if you work as both a W-2 and as a 1099, the 1099 can go get an EIDL loan if it was impacted by COVID-19. It's a very simple thing to get, and people don't know about it. To this day, it still remains one of the instruments of the second stimulus and first stimulus packages that people simply just don't know about. How much money can I get? How fast can I get it? Where do I get help? And what do I need to know? First, the application is located on SBA.GOV. You go to the website, and on there is the EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Next, you need to know how much your 2019 earnings were and cost of goods sold. Now, if you've not filed a tax return, go do it. It only takes a few minutes to go do your tax return. Or there was a mistake on the tax return and you did not account for some earnings, go back and make a revision. Once you do that, you're ready to go. The way the application works is it's going to ask you what your name is. JAVITALATE. Temple of Doom. Movie Meadows. No, you put your name. Then it'll ask you what your business, what type of business is this? Well, this is a sole proprietorship and independent contractor. This is not a 500 employee business that we're talking about in this video. This is just you. Next, it'll ask for your social security number. It'll ask for the name of your business. It's your name. And then you just proceed through the application's first page. This is called the streamline application. When you get to the next page, it's going to ask you, hey, how much money did you make? This is the Schedule C of your return. How much money did you make renting your apartment in your house? How much money did you get driving the car? How much money did you get mowing the lawn? Now, I always get these questions, so let me answer this question right away. People often say, hey, JAVITALATE, I love your scars. Well, thank you. And I want to know, I mow my lawn for my neighbor now and then, and I made, a couple $100 last year. Can I go get a loan? No, they don't give loans to people who make a few $100s per year. But then people ask, I made a couple $1,000s a year, but I didn't declare taxes. The answer is go declare taxes on it. If you didn't, go back and revise the tax return and then do the application. You could literally do them in the same day. It's as quickly as that. You just do a revised tax return, e-file it, and then go over to JAVITALATE, well, not me, but the website, and then apply for the loan. You might get a scarf out of it. Next, when you're going through the application, it's going to ask you what your gross revenue is. What is gross revenue? I'll make it very easy for you. It's line 1 of your Schedule C. Line 1 of your Schedule C, say what's your gross revenue, which is basically how much sales did you have. Oh, I rented my house 10 times at $100, so $500. Okay. You want a better example of that because you don't want a loan on $500 of income revenue. But that's basically how you do it. You put the gross revenue number in, then it's going to ask you for cost of goods sold or cost of services rendered. You put that number in. How much loan can you get? JAVITALATE, I like your scars, but it's a little bit. How much money can you give me? I'm not really interested in scars. I don't wear them. You can get gross revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by 2, which under Larry Kudlow's math requires a calculator. It's cost of goods sold. Gross revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by 2. Okay, I know someone's going to be asking this question. Actually, Bubba asked me this question. Hey, yes, Bubba reached out to me earlier today. If you haven't met Bubba, he's my 100,000 subscriber. Haven't heard from him for a while. He's on the road, and he went the wrong way and ended up in the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know. I didn't think they have roads to the Bermuda Triangle. But he reached out to me yesterday or this morning. He said, hey, that's how he always sort of scares me. It's like very aggressive. But he's like, that EIDL loan, the cost of goods sold, where's that? I'm like, it's line 2 of Schedule C. Oh, okay. But what if I didn't file 2019 tax return because I started the business? Oh, that's a common question. So if you just started the business, you can apply if the business was impacted by COVID-19. SBA does give them loans based upon 2020 started businesses that started before the pandemic and were projected to make money but now have not made money or lost money. You would have to submit proof of documentation. It's not an easy process, but you're going to get a loan, and I have done loans for viewers like that. Now, once you go through this application, you put gross revenue minus cost of goods sold divided, and you don't have to do the -2. I'm losing some scarves on the set here. Then what happens next is basically you would then go through the application, you fill out all the questions, and then at the end it's going to ask you, to indicate your bank account. Don't mess that up. Before there was a Purple Power, before there was anything else, before there was Bombshell, and the Bombshell's coming up at this video at the 10-minute mark. I have to say that. I mean, I have to say that. If I don't see it, I don't get it out of my system. Come up at the 10-minute mark, the Bombshell. If you do, oh, we're at the 10-minute mark, so I can say it right now. Bombshell. I did that on purpose. Bombshell. If you do not put the correct routing information for your bank account, you will literally end up in purgatory, or as I call it, Mitch McConnell land. I mean, you literally be going nowhere. So please make sure that you put the routing number and your bank account number correctly in there. It should be your personal bank account and your personal routing account number. Now, if you have a checking account, don't assume the checking account has the same routing number as a savings account, or a savings account has the same routing as a checking account. They're often different, so get it right and don't mistype. Triple check. I've always told people before pressing submit for the application, double and triple check your work. And also print it out or download or take a screen grab. It doesn't print out normally. It's an application you literally cannot physically print, so you may have to screen grab it. When you've double checked everything, when you screen grabbed it and save the screen grab to your computer, you're ready to grow. Press submit. And guess what? You could have an EIDL loan approved within 24 hours. Gross revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by 2. So if you made $10,000 last year, gross rev cost you $2,000 to run your business, 10 minus 2 is 8. $8,000 divided by 2, $4,000. You could have $4,000 in your bank account within 2 days. You see why this channel started. I'm good at getting people money when they qualify for money. So why sit around and wait for Mitch to decide whether it's hot or spicy or extra crispy or original recipe when you could go get $4,000 tomorrow morning? And I know you want grant money, you want free money, but you can go get this as we wait for other things to happen. As I've always said, get as many things as you can and don't worry, don't think about only one thing. Finally, Experian Vantage 3.0. If you go to NAV, that's NancyAlbertVictor.com, you can check your Experian Vantage 3.0 score. You need to really do that before you submit the loan document, because they generally don't loan to people under a 570 score, which is pretty low, but you need to just double check it. If you need to get your credit score up higher, call up Experian and they will give you what's called the boost for free, which raises your Experian Vantage 3.0 score 20 points. Remember, it is only Experian Vantage 3.0 that they loan based upon. Finally, if you watch the end of this video, which I really appreciate, you can also go to the private. The private is an Instagram account that's private. That's why it's called the private. That provides assistance for you by means of some mentors. The mentors are in there to answer your questions if you have questions about the EIDL loan. And so to learn about the private, go into the pinned comment to this video. It's at the bottom of the pinned comment from me. Coming up tomorrow morning is Mornings LALATE. If there's ever time to subscribe and like this channel, it's now. Hit the subscribe and alert button. I mean, who else wears scarves in the thick of the middle of a fire? They weren't flammable scarves, thank God. In thick gray skies, yeah, anything for a laugh. And then also like the video. I'd appreciate it because it helps the video appear higher in the ranks. We're doing really well today with 15,000 subscribers on Mornings LALATE. That had 120,000 views already, but we're only at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So with that, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused. Say hello to JAVITALATE for me, and stay in LA for more.